Well, first of all, Jensen, thank you very much for being with us today. Today is really...
Congratulations, Tarek. Yesterday was the announcement, the grand opening...
Of Humane.
Of Humane.
Thank you very much.
We're delighted to partner with you. It was, I'm honored and delighted to have watched you form Humane, and now this is Saudi Arabia's AI company. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And maybe we should share with everybody one of the most important things. In building any AI company, you need the foundation and the infrastructure. And this infrastructure really relies very heavily on advanced chipsets and accelerated compute. Today we are announcing that we're doing a 500 megawatt deployment with NVIDIA. It's a really, really big initiative for the kingdom. And I wanted, Jensen, just to give you a thought and idea about the innovation that NVIDIA is bringing to Saudi Arabia and to the global AI ecosystem.
You want me to talk about this?
Yes.
So this thing is sitting over here. I don't know if you guys could see it. It weighs too much to pick up. But this is 2 Blackwells, and it's 2,500 watts, 2,500 out of the 500 gigawatts of computing infrastructure that's going to be built. As you know, artificial intelligence has been a revolutionary technology, the most transformative technology of our time, maybe of any time. And you've heard plenty about the capabilities of artificial intelligence. You've also heard how AI is going to transform every single industry, meaning that it's going to be the infrastructure of every single industry. And Humane is going to be building the AI infrastructure here in Saudi Arabia. But what people don't realize is, unlike many technologies that are transformative, AI is also in itself an industry. It is a manufacturing industry. It's a manufacturing industry that requires energy. And as you know, Saudi Arabia is rich with energy. Transforming the energy through this giant versions of these NVIDIA AI supercomputers, which are essentially AI factories. Energy powers these AI factories. Artificial intelligence tokens are generated, and those tokens are reformulated into applications and problem-solving AIs that Tarek and Humane will create for Saudi Arabia and the rest of the world.
Yeah, we're very, very excited, Jensen. So once we address the infrastructure layer, of course, you know, the innovation that would come is the models, and we've seen all of the things that are happening in generative AI, and we're super excited about it. But I've also heard you talk about something else, the physical world and physical AI. Would you mind just giving a perspective on how this relationship between generative AI, the physical AI, and the platforms that NVIDIA is providing to Humane?
Well, over the last 12 years, we've both been involved in the development of the AI industry. Technology went from the first time you saw AI was perception AI. AIs that can recognize cats and words and sounds and speech. Perception AI evolved into generative AI. You can now use words to generate words, or words to generate images, words to generate chemicals and proteins, generative AI. Then the third era, which is the era we're in right now, is AI technology that can reason. And the formulation, the application of that capability is agentic AI. AI that can have agency. It can use tools, it can reason, it can solve problems. Essentially a digital robot that sits inside the computer. The next era, the era that we're working on now, is AIs that understands the laws of physics, the rules, the common sense of the physical world. That if you tip over a bottle, that it would fall. It would understand gravity and inertia and cause and effect and object permanence and occlusion and so on and so forth. The things that all of us humans understand common sense about the physical world. That next generation of physical AI, along with all of the technology that has already been created, could be embodied into a physical form. and that physical form would be robotics. So the era of AI is moving incredibly fast. We're in a agentic AI world today, and we're in the robotics world or physical AI shortly from now.
Jensen, I wish we have so much more time to spend because it's really a privilege to have you here. On behalf of myself, our team, we're really humbled that we're working together to create what the future AI factories would look like. Humane really started by a vision by His Royal Highness to really play in the AI total value chain, building massive capacity data centers. So we'll go to 1.9 gigawatt by 2030, advancing the AI chips, the cloud, models, application solutions. And I want to really thank you. I know it was a long trip from you coming to the US. I am really thankful for you coming and participating in this event.
And Tarek, I am so delighted to be here to help celebrate the grand opening, the beginning of Humane. It is an incredible vision indeed that Saudi Arabia should build the AI infrastructure of your nation so that you could participate and help shape the future of this incredibly transformative technology for the nation of Saudi Arabia.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Elon, my dear friend, we're honored to have President Trump. We're honored under the sponsorship and guidance of His Royal Highness to celebrate a U.S.-Saudi and a Saudi-U.S. relationship that is 92 years old, about how we move from an oil-based economy to an innovation-based economy powered by wonderful technologies that definitely you're one of the pioneers in this industry. We just showed to His Royal Highness some of your Optimus robots.
Yeah.
And to President Trump.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Tell me about them.
Yes, so we just showed several of our Tesla Optimus robots to His Highness and President Trump, and I think they were very impressed. In fact, one of our robots did the Trump dance, which I thought was pretty cool.
The YMCA, yeah?
Yeah, to YMCA. So yeah, our robots can dance, they can walk around, they can interact. I think we're headed to a radically different world. I think a good world, an interesting world. My prediction actually for humanoid robots is that ultimately there will be tens of billions. I think everyone will want to have their personal robot. You can think of it like as though you had your own personal C-3PO or R2-D2, but even better. Then who wouldn't want to have their own personal C-3PO, R2-D2? That would be pretty great. I also think it unlocks an immense amount of economic potential, because when you think of like what is the output of an economy, it is productivity per capita times population or capita. Once you have humanoid robots, the actual economic output potential is tremendous. It's really unlimited. Potentially, we could have an economy 10 times the size of the current global economy, where no one wants for anything. Sometimes in AI they talk about universal basic income. I think it's actually going to be universal high income, where anyone can have any goods or services that they want. A science fiction book recommendation that I have, which I think is probably the best envisioning of an AI future, is the culture books by Ian Banks. Very highly recommended for a non-dystopian view of the future. Now, there obviously are some risks, which illustrate perhaps if we don't do this right, you could have like a James Cameron sort of movie, Terminator. We don't want that one. But having sort of a Star Trek future would be great, where we're out there exploring the stars, discovering the nature of the universe, and a level of prosperity and hopefully happiness that we can't quite imagine yet. So I'm very excited about the future, and very glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's our absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
And His Royal Highness was talking to you about his vision and his dream to increase productivity for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and power up the region and the whole world with robotics, but also on robo-taxis. So how are we doing on robo-taxis?
So really you can think of a car or future cars as being robots on 4 wheels. And I think it would be very exciting to have autonomous vehicles here in the kingdom.
Indeed.
If you're amenable.
You heard it here from Elon. He's bringing his robo-taxi to the kingdom.
Yeah.
He has another announcement that he's going to share later.
Exactly. So, and I'd also like to thank the kingdom for approving Starlink for maritime and aviation use. Thank you.
Maritime and aviation. There you go. There you go.
So
you're going to bring us robots to help us increase our productivity.
Yeah.
Robo-taxis to make sure that our cars and assets turn into a cash-generating unit.
Yeah.
And Starlink to reform our aviation and maritime.
Yeah.
Talk about XAI.
Absolutely. But I should want to mention also something that may be worth considering is tunnels.
Tunnels. The Boring Company.
I have this company called The Boring Company, which sounds kind of boring, but it literally bores tunnels. And actually, tunnels, in order to solve traffic, you really need to go 3D with roads. And by using tunnels, you can essentially create like a wormhole, like a warp tunnel from one part of a city to another and alleviate traffic. And we've actually already done this proof of concept in Vegas. So there are working tunnels in Las Vegas that you can use where that'll just, it feels like teleporting from one part of Vegas to another. So I always say that, my joke is like tunnels are underappreciated. It's a bit of a, not always a hit, but. And then XAI is just trying to solve general purpose artificial intelligence. The goal with XAI is to have a maximally truth-seeking AI. And it's important to be a maximally truth-seeking AI in order to understand the universe. Mm-hmm. So the goal of XAI is understand the universe. To understand, what is out there. Where's the universe going? Where did it come from? What questions? In fact, I think maybe the biggest thing is, what questions do we not know to ask? Once you know the question, the answer is usually the easy part. So the goal of XAI is to help understand the universe and that's the goal. And help people answer any questions along the way, of course. But that's my philosophy. My philosophy is one of curiosity, just trying to understand the nature of reality.
So I know you had a long day, but we also have the Honorable President and His Royal Highness Saidi hitting the stage soon. Yes. So this is a historic day, a partnership about how we could join hands together, as we have joined hands in the past 92 years, on building a factor-based economy to help the world and power up 20% of the energy mix, which is very critical today to the AI intelligence age, the digital age, and how we have reformed, and with the intelligent age. And we could not be more appreciative of having a lifetime partner and a friend like you, Elon, to the kingdom.
Thank you.
Joining hands on XAI, Starlink, and robotics and Tesla. Thank you so much on behalf of the whole kingdom. And we look forward to continue the partnership. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Alex, I've heard you say before that the countries utilizing AI the best right now, its fullest potential, are the US and in the Middle East. So I wondered if you could expand on that and relate it to what we're seeing here in the kingdom.
Well, I'm delighted to be here. I've been coming here for a long time, and it's a country of very warm, decent, highly competent people, and it's on fire. When I got here this time, I sat down with, we hire basically our 22-year-old engineers. They look like 16, and I asked them, well, you know, what's going on here? And they were like, our counterparties are very strong, and they're very patriotic, which we like. It's very hard to organize things in cultures with no end goal. And so what you're seeing on the ground, if you're looking at actual value creation in the physical world that can be quantified, i.e. AI that's not a joke, you're seeing a receptivity in this region, especially in the kingdom, but the receptivity is on the back of people who have a deep tradition in engineering excellence and, quite frankly, believe in their own future. And so obviously the great contradistinction here is Europe, where you know, it's like people have given up. And I really hope that turns around in Europe. But for now, what you're seeing is and an openness to new ways of doing things, meritocracy. You know, this people underestimate, if you want to do engineering meritocracy, you're much better off here than almost any place in the world. And that ethos and that competence is going to lead to a massive outperformance. And in part because people don't have it, really underestimate what's going to happen here. And so I mean, I'm very enthusiastic. And I also kind of like the people here, so that helps.
It's a cultural fit for you. I like the jab at Europe as well. The few minutes that we have left, I want to do a lightning round because we have such good leaders here on technology. So if you could do a brief, what excites you the most about AI right now? Alex.
It's a very unfair revolution, and there are going to be massive winners, and making sure the winners are the good people and the losers aren't.
That's what excites you.
No.
I'm going to do one more lightning one because you're all here, and I think everyone's very interested to hear from you. The one thing you would watch out for or be concerned about as we dive into the AI future is what, Alex?
It's very dangerous, and if the dangerous bad people get the upper hand, which is possible because a lot of it all looks the same, and some of it's a joke, and some of it's not, and some of it's deadly, we will have a world that is not the one we want, and it's not inherently good. That's where I basically disagree with most people, even on the panel. It is good in the hands of good people. It's not inherently good. It's a dangerous weapon.
Is it in the hands of good people?
Well, it will be.
Okay. You. Ruth, I mentioned earlier the big Google announcement a few months ago to build basically an AI center and add $71 billion to the economy here. How's that going?
Well, it's going well. Building off of the prior comments, we've been invested in the kingdom for quite some time and really started to build up our cloud and AI capabilities back in 2021. Very proud of the work that we're doing with Aramco. And as we sit here at this moment in history where there's such extraordinary upside from AI, economic upsides, delivery of healthcare, education, breakthroughs in science, cyber, we looked at how could we expand in support of Vision 2030 and started with the idea of just a data center, and then, to your point, said, let's take a full stack approach and let's focus on how can we maximize the economic and social benefit to the kingdom. And so what we're doing is building out data centers. It's bringing GPUs and proprietary Google TPUs here. It's about the Gemini model, Google's most advanced AI model, Gemini, that's now in 16 Arabic dialects. It's the ability to unlock that so that we can truly help in the kingdom and outside of the kingdom to deliver on the promise of what is AI, and very importantly, this notion of concentric circles. It's not just serving customers in the kingdom, but what are the geographic concentric circles out that want to bring their work here. And importantly to it, in discussions with PIF and now with Humane, the goal is let's make sure that we're also focused on human capital investment, not just technical infrastructure investment. And so what is it that we can do across the suite of education that helps people prepare for what this new set of opportunities is, from the earliest years all the way through to job skilling. So we're very excited about the holistic, what we're calling Global AI Hub, and the work that we've been doing most recently with Humane, started with PIF to be able to deliver it, and we're motoring through.
Yeah, we're going to hear a lot more about Humane later in the day. In the few minutes that we have left, I want to do a lightning round because we have such good leaders here on technology. So if you could do a brief, what excites you the most about AI right now? A use case, something you're seeing technologically. Ruth, go for it.
I would say AlphaFold. My colleagues Demis Hassabis and John Jumper won the Nobel Prize for this in the fall. It is predicting protein structure for all known proteins on the planet. Single biggest contribution to drug discoveries, the way it's described. And since I was here for FII in the fall, Demis has already come out and said we expect we'll see an AI drug in front of the FDA in the near term. So the pace of change is extraordinary. What it means for all of us is extraordinary. And I think it's also a model for how audaciously we should all think about the opportunity with AI.
I'm going to do one more lightning one because you're all here, and I think everyone's very interested to hear from you. The one thing you would watch out for or be concerned about as we dive into the AI future. Ruth?
I actually think there's an interrelationship between these 2 points, because I very much agree with Alex. The phrase we use at Google, consistency, is it is imperative to be bold and responsible. We must protect from the downside in order to have the right and the opportunity to focus on the upside and deliver. And the only way to address some of the biggest social inequities and to deliver solutions, I think, is with AI, but you've got to protect on the downside. The risk if we over-regulate is that those who aren't regulated can get ahead, and in particular areas like cybersecurity, which many of us on this panel are focused on. It needs to similarly be a responsible approach to regulation, so we're not restraining it too much in order to protect against this downside risk. And I think Alex is very much right. It's something that we need to collectively stay vigilant about.